I don't think people see me as an athlete. They see me as a husband, as a father. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that what we had to go through. I mean, we're just like everybody else. Sometimes unfortunate things happen, but we build from it and then we move on.
The record books tell a remarkable story of Anthony Calvillo's career. And now for a look at the man behind the helmet, we welcome two longtime teammates, John Bowman and Josh Bourke. Gentlemen, 15 years of experience playing with AC between the two of you. How will you remember him as a player and as a man?
Mostly as a player, the guy was unflappable. And as a man, he had great character and he was very personable. So he showed us great leadership, how to become leaders, and he helped us to become the players we are.
How will you remember him, Josh?
I think the biggest thing, Ali, is his professionalism, the way he prepared from a football perspective. He showed up every day. He was the first one in, last one out. And he just showed us the way on how to prepare and be a professional. From a man point of view, I mean, everyone's always stated that he was a great football player, but an even better human being. And, you know, he's a man of God, and he's also a big family man, so that's how I'll remember him.
Now, John, you joined the Alouettes in 2006, Josh a year later. Describe that moment when you realized you had an incredible quarterback.
Well, I remember I was in training camp in St. Jean, and I was rushing him, and I accidentally bumped into his leg or something like that. And I found out the hard way. Don Matthews pulled me to the side. He chewed me up something good, said, "Don't you ever touch our quarterback again. This is our money guy." And so from then on, if I beat my man clean, I just stayed away from Anthony.
How about you?
For me, well, I first got to the Alouettes in 2007, and one of my first couple weeks here, Anthony actually got hurt out in BC, and I think he missed the rest of the season. So I was playing, you know, the quarterbacks were Marcus Brady and Jason Moss at that point. So the first time I really got to share a huddle with him was in 2008. And I'd come to Montreal and heard about, you know, Anthony Calvillo, how such a great quarterback he is. And I'm like, well, you know, show this guy to me. And I went to the locker room and I'm like, this guy's, you know, he's 5 foot, you know, 6'1". He doesn't look too special. But when I saw him on the field and, you know, the way he commanded the huddle and demanded excellence out of everybody, I learned quick that I'm going to listen to this guy and just keep my mouth shut.
Now, when he came to the Alouettes, though, he was a quiet, lead by example type of player. How has he changed over the years, Josh, and what type of leader is he today?
I don't think he's changed too much. He's not a big rah-rah guy, but being the quarterback position, you really, you have to be a vocal leader. You know, some positions you can afford to just kind of lead by example. But the quarterback position is such an important position that you really need to be vocal. And I think sometimes he had to come out of his comfort zone a little bit, but he realized for the betterment of the team and the betterment of the big game situations, he needed to be that guy in the huddle. So I don't think he's changed a lot over the years. I just think he's kind of added to his leadership skills.
You think so?
Of course. I mean, the guy, I remember we were losing in the Grey Cup in 2009. That was probably the first time I see him get upset. You know, he really lit into us. But he still remained a quiet leader. You know, he showed us the way through his actions. And like Bourke said, sometimes the quarterback has to be vocal. And when he needed to be vocal, he was awfully vocal.
Many remember his courageous battle with cancer in 2010. What did you two learn from watching him live through that struggle?
Well, I learned personally that my days, like when I didn't want to play football, I had to get up and play anyway, because this guy survived in everything. You know, he went through cancer, his wife went through cancer, you know, raising girls in this busy city and still juggling and becoming the great football player he was. So my down days, I couldn't sit in my house and sulk because my leg was sore, or when I was coming back from my knee injury because I didn't want to go rehab or something, because this guy survived one of the biggest threats there are in the world, and he came back and played every game the next year. So him going through that and showing us that anything is possible through faith and hard work and work ethic, it was just easy for me.
Yeah, similar things to what John said. I mean, going through that, especially, you know, cancer's tough, and especially the scare he had with his wife a few years previous. So the guy's endured way more than any person really should over the course of his career. But I think it's just a testament to him and the person and the man that he's become, that he's able to rise over those unfortunate situations and continue to, I don't know how he did it, to maintain his focus on football while that, the health scares went on. And even coming from, the California back in the day, he grew up in a bad neighborhood and rose through all that. So that's a testament to him and the man he's become.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. Montrealers are certainly lucky to have a living legend here in our city.